U.S. drops the mother of all bombs on ISIS. Kaboom! The U.S. Air Force dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb ever used in combat on Afghanistan yesterday. Known to the military as the mother of all bombs, the 22,000-pound GBU-43 has an explosive yield equivalent to more than 11 tons of TNT. The bomb detonates before it reaches the ground, creating a huge blast radius. In addition to the physical damage, the sheer scale of the bomb's impact also inflicts terrible psychological impact on the enemy. This footage shows the Air Force testing the bomb in 2003. The target yesterday was the Islamic State in Khorasan, also known as ISIS-K. ISIS's Afghan affiliate has been using IEDs, bunkers, and tunnels to dig in following recent heavy losses. One witness on the ground said the blast was the biggest he had ever heard and targeted an area exclusively occupied by ISIS fighters. However, an Afghan MP said locals told him a teacher and his young son died in the blast. A U.S. Special Forces soldier was killed last week fighting ISIS-K in Afghanistan. The U.S. military estimates there are between 600 and 800 ISIS-K fighters in the country. The military said the bombing was unrelated to the soldier's death and added it took every precaution to avoid civilian casualties. President Trump confirmed he had authorized the military to carry out the bombing. He also denied that the attack was intended to send a message to North Korea amid heightened tensions with Kim Jong-un's hermit state. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Keep watching to see more stuff blowing up.
Video captures huge explosion at a missile base in Yemen. A massive explosion from an airstrike in Yemen's capital left at least 15 people dead and wounded dozens more on Monday.
Allahu Akbar!
The attack was the latest in a series of airstrikes led by Saudi Arabia in the Sana'a area. Saudi fighter planes bombed a Fajatan military base that was housing Scud missiles. The resulting explosion shattered windows and tore holes in buildings and cars. According to Reuters, at least 15 people died in the blast. Al Jazeera reported more than 300 people were wounded. Saudi-led strikes have been targeting areas where Houthi rebels have increased their power, including in suburbs of the capital. Witnesses reported hearing anti-aircraft artillery throughout the area following the explosion. One witness at a local hospital told Reuters victims with debris wounds crowded the emergency room.
Chemical plant bursts into flames in China, injuring 3. A powerful explosion and fire tore through a paraxylene plant in China on Monday evening, with Xinhua news agency reporting that tremors were felt as far as 50 kilometers away. The factory that exploded in China yesterday produced paraxylene, a flammable chemical used in polyester and plastics manufacturing. The material is used to manufacture water bottles, other containers, fabrics, and X-ray and photographic film. If inhaled or ingested, the chemical can cause dizziness and nausea. It can also cause problems in the central nervous system. China's state news agency Xinhua said the blast took place at about 6:56 p.m. local time in a pumping station, injuring 3 people. Another explosion and fire took place at the same chemical plant back in July 2013, when a hydrogen pipe ruptured during a pressure test.
Massive blast from tunnel bomb kills 30 Syrian government soldiers. Syrian opposition activists say a devastating blast from a bomb detonated in a tunnel beneath a government military position has killed dozens of soldiers loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The target for the attack was a government checkpoint near the town of Ma'arat al-Numan in Syria's northwestern Idlib province. 60 fighters with the Islamic Front and Shields of the Revolution Council took 50 days to complete the tunnel, which extended more than 200 meters. In it, they placed a large amount of an unknown explosive. Opposition fighters routinely use such methods to attack regime checkpoints and headquarters. The huge blast killed at least 30 government soldiers as well as 2 opposition officers. Here's the explosion from another angle. The activist group Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says the checkpoint was one of the last lines of defense for the Wadi Daif military base, one of the last regime strongholds in Idlib province.
say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Runaway ethanol tanker kills 6 people after hellfire explosion. Footage released this week by Brazilian officials shows an ethanol tanker truck exploding into a fury of hellfire. The truck speeds toward a bend, then crashes. The tanker overturns and literally rockets down the other side of the highway, blazing everything in its path. The accident, which happened on July 3rd in Paraná, killed 6 people. Police reportedly found the driver was driving at double the speed limit when the crash took place. Due to the graphic nature of the next clip, we can't show you it in its entirety here on YouTube, but you can see it on TomoNews.com via the link in the description. Footage posted to LiveLeak appears to show a severely burned man immediately after the accident. In the video, the man appears to have had all of his clothes and even some of his skin burned off. The man is clearly in a lot of pain and struggles to walk. Meanwhile, the truck driver did survive and he's reportedly facing charges over the deadly accident.
SpaceX rocket really blows. Facebook head honcho Mark Zuckerberg must be pissed with his SpaceX counterpart Elon Musk today after a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying a satellite that FB was planning to use exploded on the launch pad at Cape Canaveral. The blast occurred as the rocket was being fueled on Thursday, but the cause of the explosion was not immediately known. The SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is designed to transport satellites and spacecraft into space. It has 9 first-stage engines, which can sustain 2 engine shutdowns during flight without compromising the mission. The second stage delivers the payload into orbit. Its single engine can be reignited several times to send multiple payloads into space. The first stage of the rocket is designed to return to Earth so it can be reused. Rocket burns decelerate the Falcon 9 before 4 landing legs deploy. The Falcon 9 that exploded on Thursday was carrying an Amos 6 satellite, which Facebook planned to use to boost internet connectivity in Africa. The $62 million Falcon 9 rocket was due to launch on Saturday. Mark Zuckerberg wrote on Facebook that he was deeply disappointed by the mission's failure. And, Elon Musk aside, he definitely won't be the only one. Facebook is a customer of Israeli company Spacecom, which owns the Amos 6 satellite. It remains to be seen if the blast will scupper Spacecom's $285 million sale to a Chinese company, which was announced last week. Conditions attached to the deal said the satellite had to be launched successfully and complete in-orbit tests. Whoops.
Taiwan gas explosion kills 25, including 4 firefighters. 4 firefighters were among the 25 people killed in a series of explosions triggered by gas leaks in the southern Taiwanese city of Kaohsiung. 267 people were injured and 2 remain missing. Kaohsiung residents saw white gas leaking from the city's sewage system at about 8:40 p.m. The first explosion went off at 10 p.m., followed by a second at 11:25 p.m. that injured 50 firefighters. The third explosion took place at 12 a.m. and carved a large trench through the center of a road. The first 3 explosions occurred within a 3-kilometer diameter area. Footage of an explosion recorded from a car's dash cam has been released on the internet. At least a dozen explosions in total took place before 2 a.m. Authorities evacuated people from the area between Sanduo 2nd Road and Ersheng 1st Road, and restricted car traffic from entering an area between Wuchuan Street and Zhongshan 2nd Road. Rescuers continue to search for the 2 missing people. Prosecutors say that the Ministry of Justice will dispatch more than 100 police officers to investigate the incident.